The Lantern Man is one of the most chilling figures in British folklore, particularly known for his presence in the East Anglian fens. This mysterious figure, said to carry a glowing lantern, has been sighted for centuries and is often associated with marshes, bogs, and isolated countryside paths. The Lantern Man is notorious for luring unsuspecting travelers into dangerous areas, often leading them to their doom. The legend has captivated imaginations for centuries, and despite the progress of science and modern technology, sightings of the Lantern Man continue to this day. The Lantern Man is most commonly associated with the fens of Norfolk and Cambridgeshire, a low-lying, marshy region in the east of England. The fens are an eerie place at night, known for thick mists, unpredictable weather, and the isolation that often comes with sparsely populated areas. The dangerous marshes and waterways that once dominated the landscape were ideal breeding grounds for mysterious sightings and strange occurrences. The Norfolk Broads, a network of rivers and lakes in the region, are another hot spot for Lantern Man sightings. The winding waterways surrounded by thick reeds and trees create a perfect atmosphere for eerie experiences. Tales of the Lantern Man were particularly common in the 18th and 19th centuries, when locals would warn travelers about the dangers of being led astray by a flickering light in the distance. The Lantern Man legend likely has roots in older European myths of will-o'-the-wisps, ghostly lights that were said to lead people astray in swamps and marshes. Will-o'-the-wisps, also called ignis fatuus, are often described as balls of light that appear at night and hover just out of reach, leading travelers into dangerous terrain. The phenomenon of ignis fatuus was known in various cultures, with local variations across Europe and the UK. The first documented sighting of the Lantern Man in East Anglia is difficult to pinpoint, but oral traditions suggest that the figure was well known by the 17th century. Farmers, fishermen, and marsh workers frequently reported sightings of a strange, flickering light that moved in the mist, often leading them deeper into the marshes where they risked becoming lost or trapped. Some stories describe the Lantern Man as a malevolent spirit, while others suggest he is a more neutral, mischievous presence. Throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, sightings of the Lantern Man were a regular occurrence in the fens. Locals believed that the Lantern Man could be either a warning or a trap, depending on how one interacted with the light. One early account comes from a Norfolk farmer in 1753, who described following what he thought was another traveler's lantern through thick fog, only to find himself standing at the edge of a bog, the light disappearing into the night. He barely escaped with his life, and his story became a cautionary tale for others. In another instance, in 1827, a group of travelers near Ely, Cambridgeshire, saw a distant light while walking at night. Thinking it was a fellow traveler, they followed the light but quickly found themselves lost in the marshes. The light flickered and disappeared, leaving the group disoriented. When they were eventually rescued by locals, they recounted their strange encounter, insisting that the Lantern Man had led them astray. In 1889, a fisherman from Norwich described seeing a bright light hovering over the water while out on his boat late at night. The light bobbed and weaved through the mist, and though the fisherman tried to follow it, it always stayed just out of reach. He claimed the light guided him dangerously close to a submerged sandbank before disappearing entirely, an experience that left him shaken. Despite the advances of modern technology, sightings of the Lantern Man have continued into the 20th and 21st centuries. In the 1980s, a local couple from Blakeney, Norfolk, reported seeing a strange light while walking along the marshes late one evening. They initially thought it was a hiker with a lantern, but as they approached, the light began to move away. Every time they sped up, the light moved further, leading them deeper into the foggy marsh. Eventually, they found themselves lost and panicking. The light disappeared without a trace, and they were rescued hours later by a search party. The couple remained convinced that they had encountered the Lantern Man. In 2003, a group of paranormal investigators from Cambridge spent a night in the fens near Wicken Fen, hoping to document evidence of the Lantern Man. They set up cameras and recording devices, and while they did not capture visual evidence, they reported seeing flickering lights in the distance. Some of their audio recordings picked up unexplained noises, including faint rhythmic humming that one investigator described as unsettlingly human. Another recent encounter occurred in 2012 near Sutton Galt, where a lone cyclist reported seeing a light floating above the marshes. He followed it for a short distance, thinking it was someone carrying a lantern, but as he got closer, the light vanished. He later told a local newspaper that the experience left him unnerved, especially after learning about the Lantern Man legend from local residents. One of the most famous and well-documented sightings of the Lantern Man occurred in 1921 near Blakeney Point, a remote coastal area in Norfolk known for its eerie atmosphere. A group of bird watchers visiting the area to observe migratory birds reported seeing a strange light hovering over the marshes at dusk. Initially, they assumed it was another group of campers, but as the light drew closer, they realized it wasn't behaving like a regular lantern or torch. One witness, a man named John Turner, recalled that the light moved erratically, weaving through the fog. He described it as unnaturally bright, casting long shadows across the ground. The group tried to follow it, but the light kept its distance, moving away just as they thought they were close. Turner later recounted that the experience was deeply unsettling, particularly when the light suddenly vanished, leaving them in total darkness. The sighting gained attention because of the credibility of the witnesses, who were respected members of the birdwatching community. Their collective account added weight to the legend, and many local newspapers at the time reported the event, fueling speculation about the Lantern Man. Over the years, various researchers and paranormal enthusiasts have attempted to investigate the Lantern Man phenomenon. In 1967, British folklorist Enid Porter conducted interviews with elderly residents of the fens, collecting stories and sightings passed down through generations. Porter's work revealed a consistent pattern in the Lantern Man accounts. The light always appeared at night, often during foggy or misty conditions, and it would lead travelers off course, sometimes with dangerous consequences. In 1975, paranormal investigator Peter Underwood visited Norfolk to explore the Lantern Man sightings. Underwood, a respected figure in British ghost lore, gathered testimonies from locals who had encountered the light. While Underwood remained open to supernatural explanations, he also considered the possibility that the phenomenon could be a natural occurrence, such as ignis fatuus or will-o'-the-wisps, which are known to appear in marshy areas due to the release of gases like methane. The most widely accepted explanation for the Lantern Man phenomenon is that it is a natural occurrence, likely a form of will-o'-the-wisp. These ghostly lights are caused by the combustion of gases, specifically methane and phosphine, that are released from decaying organic matter in marshy areas. When these gases come into contact with oxygen, they can ignite, creating a flickering, glowing light that resembles a lantern. This natural explanation accounts for the unpredictable movement of the light, as the gases rise and disperse unevenly. Another scientific theory is that the sightings of the Lantern Man could be the result of optical illusions caused by atmospheric conditions. The fens are known for their thick fogs and mists, which can distort light and create strange visual effects. In such conditions, distant lights from houses, boats, or even car headlights can appear to move in ways that seem supernatural. However, some researchers argue that the consistency of the sightings, particularly the reports of intelligent movement, suggests that there may be more to the Lantern Man than simple natural phenomena. Paranormal investigators continue to explore the possibility that the Lantern Man is a manifestation of some kind of spirit or energy, though this remains a matter of debate. The Lantern Man continues to be a compelling figure in English folklore, with sightings spanning centuries and numerous witness accounts. While rational explanations such as ignis fatuus and optical illusions offer plausible solutions, the enduring nature of the legend and the consistency of the reports suggest that the Lantern Man may be more than just a product of marsh gas or atmospheric effects. Whether the Lantern Man is a mischievous spirit, a natural phenomenon, or a figment of the imagination, his presence in the marshy fens of East Anglia remains a source of fascination and fear. The mystery of the Lantern Man endures, and with each new sighting, the line between folklore and reality continues to blur. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Share with your family and friends, and please leave a comment down below. You can also suggest ideas for future videos of creatures or myths you would like me to cover. Until we meet again, goodbye.